feel free to ask, and then just always trying to, give the best referrals and just make the transaction as smooth as possible. Because again, it's a difficult time, and it's stressful. So our job is to make it as stress-free as possible because we're the professionals.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to The Closing Table. My name is Kevin C. McIntosh, host of The Closing Table. And joining us on this episode, we have the pleasure, per usual, of speaking with another top producing real estate agent in his respective market. We want to welcome Bryce Holcombe to the show. What's going on, Bryce?
Not much. What's going on, Kevin? Thanks for having me.
Man, absolutely. Always appreciate our guests accepting our invitation. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're at the closing table right now. We appreciate that. So, yeah, man, I want to talk to you about what's going on in your market, man. Give us a little bit of insight into what's going on. But before we even head in that direction, man, we got to make a pit stop and grab some ice. I got an icebreaker for you. Okay. It's called This or That. It's essentially a couple words and or phrases. They're all related to real estate, but I have two of them that are kind of contradictory to each other. And I just want you to choose one. And if you want, you can tell us why you chose it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. First one. Active income or passive income?
Passive income.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. Single family home or multi-family property?
I specialize in single family, so I'll go single family.
That's fair. Long-term rental or short-term rental, aka Airbnbs?
Long-term rental.
Okay. Cash flow or appreciation?
Let's go with cash flow. Everyone likes to see cash coming in.
Got you. Last one, traditional financing or creative financing?
Traditional financing. A little bit easier in our industry.
Okay. I like that. Gotta respect it. All right, Bryce, that's fair, man. Appreciate you for picking up the ice for us during the icebreaker segment. Now we kind of slide into talking about yourself. Let's focus on you, Bryce, in 60 seconds or less. Talk to me and our audience and tell us who you are outside of real estate.
Okay. Bryce Holcombe. I am 30. I am a husband, recent father to a 3-month-old baby girl.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been great. Avid golfer, sports fan, huge Detroit Lions fan.
Let's go.
That's right. I'm excited. Anything to do with sports, play a lot of poker with my friends. So, those kinds of things, sports, all that kind of stuff.
Love it, man. Straight up Lions fan. I got to respect it, man. We already right there with each other, man. Come on now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's talk about where you do your business, man. Let's describe your current market that you're working in twofold. One, geographically, give as much detail, locations, surrounding areas, attractions, things to do for, describe it for people who may have never been to your area. Then let's get into some of the real estate side economically. Give us some numbers, stats if you can.
Okay. Yeah. I live in Clair Shores. My office is here in Clair Shores. So I service the surrounding areas, mainly Metro Detroit, some Oakland County, things like that. But I would say surrounding areas, Roseville, Warren, Clinton Township, Harrison Township, like that. Clair Shores is a big boating community, so Lake St. Clair is a big attraction over here. We got a decent amount of restaurants on the water, which is a big attraction. A good amount of local parks, things like that. So it's just it's a nice little community. But I would say the main attraction here in Clair Shores is the water.
Yeah. They also, isn't that where, is it Joby Nooner or something? Is that where it is?
I think Joby's I've never been there, but I think it's like in Harrison Township area. So not too far.
Okay.
But I'm sure a lot of people leave Lake St. Clair or launch out of Lake St. Clair and head that way. Or in Clair Shores and head that way.
Depending on where you are in your life, that's a good time.
Yeah,
From what I've
exactly.
seen and
Yeah,
heard, I've
yeah,
never been there,
yeah.
but
I've never been there either.
right, it'll get you in trouble if you're in a different position in life. So,
Exactly.
cool. So, any what's going on real estate wise? You got any numbers, statistics for us?
Yeah. I would say I'll just stick to here in St. Clair Shores. I'd say
Mm-hmm.
average price per home is I'd say in that 200 225 range. Um,
Mm,
I would say predominantly here in St. Clair Shores, it's 3 bedroom ranches. They probably range from I don't know 900 to 1,200 square feet. A lot of 3 bedroom, 1.5 baths. Um, Days on market in this area, it's just kind of like everywhere else. A day or two, it seems like maybe 3 days.
really?
Yeah,
Mm,
and I mean we're still in that phase of multiple offers if it's priced right and it's a nice house.
mhm.
Some houses are sitting a little longer, um, but I guess by longer nowadays it's like a week or so. So,
Yeah, man. You know what I'm surprised about what you said?
hmm.
The average pricing around St. Clair, sure, you say between 200, 225?
Yeah, I mean some of the ranches sell for more, some of them sell for less, but I would say that
I just
average
thought for sure
price.
it'd be like 400 or more.
Oh
That's
no.
right by the water.
Yeah, I mean the houses on the canal and all that. Yeah, for sure, 4, 5, 600,
Right.
some more.
Okay.
But if you're off the water and it's just your typical 3 bedroom ranch, they're typically listed. I would say I'll give a bigger range, 200 to 250 ish. So
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, and it's like the ones under 200 need work, but they're not even really in that bad of shape.
Man, that's crazy. Okay. Hmm. Well, are they doing a lot of Airbnb short term rentals in that area?
We don't allow them here in St. Clair Shores.
Mm.
I know there's some in Harper Woods. If you don't go too far, I mean, I know Ferndale allows them. Um, my wife was actually looking the other day because we had family coming in. And I think she said she found some in Grosse Pointe, but I'm not exactly sure if it was Grosse Pointe or near Grosse Pointe, which would be Harper Woods. Um,
Mm.
but no,
Interesting.
as of right now, none in St. Clair Shores.
Not surprised. Not surprised. All right. Well, good. Thank you for that insight, Bryce. Let's
Yeah,
keep it moving. I want to talk about challenging aspects of the real estate industry from your experience personally. What are some of these, and can you recall a specific incident or situation that exemplifies this example?
yeah. I would say just in general, the challenges of selling real estate is it's just an ever changing market every day. Some days, things are going great. You get a clear to close or something. The next day, another property could be falling apart or a deal could be falling apart. Um,
Yeah.
it's just some things are out of our control. We can't control the interest rates. Um, so buying power goes up and down, sellers' power goes up and down, things like that. Um, I would say specific examples. To how I manage it. Um, just try to stay on top of it all. Just try to stay as educated as possible. Try to figure out what interest rates are. Maybe not daily because they change so much, but weekly. Just try to stay educated, um, and just give as much information to buyers and sellers as possible to make it as easy for them, as stress free for them because it's a big deal buying and selling.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially just doing your job, staying on top of the trends, staying on top of the market, the cycles that's going on,
Right.
more hyper locally than anything, also. But
Exactly.
that's pretty much the best that you can do, because there's cycles.
Right.
And we've been doing it. We've been doing the closing table for about 7 months or so, like as of right now. And I can already tell you the conversations that I've had from agents back in January, February, the tone is it's about the same, but it's changing a little bit. I'm starting to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The inventory is still low, the interest rates are still affecting people, but it's not only just affecting buyers, it's affecting some agents too. So,
Oh yeah.
just staying on top of things
Just trying to stay as busy as
is
possible,
mm-hmm.
as ready as possible, as available as possible, and a lot of those small things go a long way. So,
Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Appreciate that. All right, Bryce. This is an opportunity for you to help us go viral. All
okay.
right. So this one, I want to hear the story of the weirdest, most unconventional, oddest thing you've seen in a property. I want you to get very weird on us. Go.
Oh gosh. What haven't we seen? I mean, stripper poles. That's a little
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
I don't know why they
yeah.
wouldn't put those away. Um, Maybe not weird, but kind of gross. Definitely seen a lot of dog poops in the house. Just
Ugh.
kind of nasty. I mean, it's just some people just don't clean up. They just list the house and expect it to sell. I don't know. I used to do property management. I saw a lot weirder things then. Um, but broken into houses, things like that. So not all the fun stuff. Some weird stuff is kind of weird for a reason, but
Okay.
nothing too crazy. I mean, definitely seen some weird stuff, but like I said, nothing too
No
crazy.
toilets in the living room. No,
No toilets in
no
the living room.
showers in the closet
I've
or
definitely seen
anything.
some weird toilet placements in basements, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I love when I see these memes that come across my timeline nowadays, and you see a random like toilet right in the middle of the stairway.
Hmm.
Like, is this real?
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
mean, you know, agents will have those stories to tell. So
Yeah,
yeah, I imagine you probably seen so many. Like, I can't even put my finger on one at this point.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's talk about something good. You know, after closing, you know, it's a time to celebrate in most cases.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes, you know, celebratory gifts can be given as a congratulations or a housewarming, let's say, stuff like that. You have any stories of an elaborate gift or an expensive gift that you've either given to a client or you've seen or known someone to give to a client after closing?
Um, Elaborate, I would say I'm more of a nice bottle of, liquor or a nice bottle of champagne type of person. It's about as elaborate as I get. I've definitely seen some people just online or Facebook or whatever. They put together some pretty nice baskets for buyers or sellers with, everyday essential things for a first time homeowner or something like that. Um,
Mm,
Blankets, candles, things like that. Um,
right.
but yeah, to the extent that I go is usually like a nice bottle or something like that.
Oh, okay. So that rumor I heard about you giving someone a Tesla after closing, that's false?
That's
What I've
when
heard.
you buy your house.
Like, so
We
I
gotta
heard you
get you
give
that.
out
Yeah,
Tesla.
yeah, yeah. We gotta get you that
I'm
mansion, then
just
I'll get
joking.
you one.
Just joking, man. Appreciate the sense of humor,
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I asked that because I have heard of different people giving out like, I mean, I guess I would say crazy gifts, but relative to what, you know, the agent is probably getting in commissions, it's probably just a drop in the bucket. But I've
Yeah.
heard of luxurious purses, bags, washers and dryers.
Yeah.
You know, that washer and dryer is probably I would take that for sure. I like
I would
that.
take
I
that.
would take that.
That's a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
thousand dollar gift.
that's a good deal. Oh yeah, easily, easily. What about any type of scenario where it took you longer to sell a client's home than you anticipated? You had to put a little bit more work behind it, whether it's due to something that you were doing on the marketing end, or maybe it was a pricing issue. But any stories you can share where it took you longer, and tell me what you did to kind of get over that hump.
Yeah, I would say it was probably within the first year I was selling. I got a listing from a guy I went to high school with. Reached out to
Mm-hmm.
me. It was here in Clair Shores. I went over there, and it was a nice house, good location, but it definitely had some crawl space issues. The living room was kind of looked like it had a ramp in the middle of it, um, and there was a big tree on the property that seemed like it was doing some damage. But he bought it, obviously, when he bought it at a good time. We listed it for what we thought was a pretty good price. And then I think it went through I mean, it probably got 50, 60 showings. And then first person wrote an offer, full ask. They backed out due to the crawl space stuff. And then I think it went through, not kidding, probably 8 different buyers. Um, and when
Sheesh.
they would say why did it come back on the market, I'd tell them straight up. I mean, it was the crawl space issue or this tree, just so that it's not we're not trying to waste anyone's time or money for people getting a
Right.
home inspection or things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it eventually sold to an investor that said he's fixed these things himself before. So, um, but again, it was a lot of activity. It was well priced, but ended up selling for a little bit less. Um, but I don't know
Mm.
if it was harder on me or the seller, but he was super understanding and got why people were backing out. Um, so it worked out well for him in the end, and it worked out for everyone. It just definitely took a little longer, and that was like in the thick
Yeah.
of when interest rates were low, so there's a ton of buyers out,
Mm.
and yeah, legit probably 8 different home inspections just to say the same thing. So,
Sheesh.
so
That's crazy. Yeah, see. So you said there was a tree. I'm assuming it was like the roots, probably causing damage to pipes, and probably even the branches being over like the roof or whatever the case may be.
yeah, so it was like right in the driveway. It was like so they almost built the driveway
Oh,
around the tree, and in that
oh
area you could
man.
see the concrete kind of heaving up,
Hmm.
and then yeah, I think the guy that ended up buying it said he would get in there and brace it up or whatever he had to do to, just at least support the crawl space because it wasn't like a support issue; it was just kind of a settling issue. Um, but
Uh,
a lot of first time home buyers or young home buyers are definitely not comfortable with that, and I couldn't blame them. So
yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's
yeah,
not for you, but
no,
that just goes to show who's out there in the market because you would think something like that. Nobody's gonna buy this home, but
nope.
get the right. You market it right. You put it in front of the right people. Somebody will come right
I'm
along
gonna buy it. Some
and take
investor
care of
bought it
that.
cash, and I think he had it rented out in probably the
Ooh,
next month. So
ooh, look at that. See, beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
exactly.
Love to hear that.
It always works
Let's talk
out.
about let's talk about relationships. As a realtor,
Yep.
it's very, very important to have relationships.
Hmm.
I want to talk about a time you've built a relationship with the client throughout the transaction where you've continued that relationship after the closing and it's been a quite rewarding relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
something that you developed and gotten real close over time.
Um, yeah, I would say a lot of my clients are friends of mine. So a lot of them are friends going into it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a lot of referrals from friends, so people that I may not have met, but I kind of have some sort of contact with them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then just recently, I had a referral for a past client of mine gave me a referral to she was actually a senior citizen. Her husband actually just passed not too long ago suddenly, and she had been in this condo
Mm.
for like, I think they were there for 30, 35 years, so a long time. Um, and sweetest old lady, and she just wanted to sell it and kind of be done, so she can like move on. It was like her last, I guess, way to like last memory to kind of move on.
All right.
Sold it. She was super grateful. She was super, excited to be done. And then it was like a week ago, but it was probably 3 weeks ago or 3 weeks after the closing. She sent me a long text just saying, I can't thank you enough again. I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
enjoying being with my grandkids, things like that. So, um, just doing a good job, and um, I don't know. I just try to be as nice to people as possible. You don't know what's going on, and
Oh yeah.
obviously she appreciated it, and she told me weeks after, which is really cool. I really appreciated her text, and it just shows that um, selling a property or helping someone buy is there's much more to it, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Man, yeah, yeah. See, that's the difference between what you all do as real estate agents. Like you are really making a huge difference,
Yeah,
changing people's lives, man. Change people. And sometimes just the way life goes naturally, their lives are changing and
exactly.
they have to make adjustments and adapt. And you're a part of that adaptation. So,
Yeah,
you all really make a big, big difference in
absolutely.
people's lives in the community, man. So
Yeah,
well done.
thank you.
Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a feel good one. So
yeah. Yeah. So that was a feel good one. Let's take it to the other side now, Bryce. Let's talk about the ones that don't feel so good. Have you dealt with a demanding or difficult client in your lifetime? And can you talk about why it was so demanding and difficult and what you did to kind of manage it professionally?
yeah, I don't know if I would single anyone out. I don't know if the word demanding or difficult is, fair.
Yeah.
I would say they're all demanding, which is, rightfully so. They're buying either first or second house, third house, sometimes just the biggest purchase they typically will ever make, or the biggest sale, and they gotta, uproot their family and go somewhere else, and it's stressful. So, I think demanding is fair. Um,
Yeah.
they're all
Great wordplay.
they're all difficult to some extent, just because, like I said, I mean, it's a stressful. I don't even know if they're difficult people in life. They're just it's a stressful. When we were buying our house, my wife was, why haven't we heard from the agent? Why, it's just
Right, right.
so
I feel you.
I definitely pride myself in being very available, via text, via phone call, kind of at all hours of the day. just because, people are stressed. They want to hear answers. So that kind of stuff doesn't bother me at all. If you have a question, just feel free to ask, and then just always trying to, you know, give the best referrals and just make the transaction as smooth as possible. Because again, it's a demanding, it's a difficult time, and it's stressful. So our job is to make it as stress free as possible because we're the professionals.
Yeah, right. I'm sitting over here with the biggest smile on my face. That was the most political answer I've heard on the closing table in a very long time. Listen, this man he just said, you know what? Everybody's difficult and demanding in a way. Let's just level the playing field
It's
like
true.
that.
It's true.
But what you said makes perfect sense. So I can't be mad at it. But that answer, you've done some media training.
I'm not
Yeah,
calling
you've done
out.
some media training. I like it. Of course we're not here for that. We know we're not. But I love that response though. I love that response. That was very, very smart, man.
Yeah,
Have you witnessed any notable shifts, trends in real estate throughout your career? And can you share an example and discuss how it impacted your approach as an agent?
Yeah. So I started selling I think I started full time in October of 19. I think I did my first deal in December of 19, and then COVID happened, 3 months after that. So when I first started, I guess it seemed to me like a normal market, which I don't know what a normal market is, It seemed like a normal market where there was houses on the market. They weren't getting a ton of offers, things like that. Um, but once COVID happened and once we were able to get back to work, interest rates were low. So I started working with a ton of buyers, first time home buyers, because affordability was up. But it was tough. I mean, if you didn't have a little bit of cash behind, you didn't have an appraisal guarantee, it was tough. But it was definitely, it seemed almost kind of like a neutral market because sellers were getting a lot, but buyers had a decent amount of buying power. From there, it seemed like the interest rates started to go up, but buyers didn't go away. But now, interest rates are really high in comparison to what they've been, and we just have no inventory. So buyers are still buying. There's still a lot of buyers, even though the interest rates are up. But again, once a nice house hits the market, you show up and there's three other agents outside as well. So I would say the shift is just up and down. I've been doing it for almost 4 years now, so I haven't seen anything like 2008 or anything like that. But
of course,
this market almost just seems normal to me at this point. So um, if you have if you have a buyer that doesn't have as much buying power, just go try to look at the houses that have been on the market for a little longer.
Right.
Sellers are still getting top dollar. It seems like. So
yeah. No, that's real because it was a great time. I ain't gonna say a great time, but it's a memorable time to be alive, I will say. And for you to jump into real estate, like literally right before it, and then that type of shift happens. That's a. And then let's talk about your resilience first and foremost. 3 to 5 years, because we've talked about this, and I've learned this on the closing table. 3 to 5 years is that kind of like tough period for a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Most agents don't make it out of that time period. They, find themselves leaving, especially during a time like COVID, where it probably could be very difficult or demanding for a lot of agents. They can find their way out the door. But not only did, you get a little bit of the market before it started, but you were handling it like in the midst of it. And as we kind of dwindle out, you're still here to speak about it. So I think you started during a very unique time.
I agree.
And as the cycle eventually, because it is a cycle, it will eventually flip, then you'll be able to see both sides. And I feel like that'll make you even more experienced. Because I mean, if you can get through what it is now, I feel like you can survive almost any market. I don't know what the opposite end will be. Maybe another housing crash, God forbid.
Hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, I've always said too, I think I got in at a good time. Like I said, I'm 30 now.
Oh, yeah.
I got in at 26, turning 27, and a lot of my friends from college, a lot of high school people, it was like the perfect time for them to start buying houses. So I started working with a lot of, like I said, first-time home buyers that were just at that age or my age. So it worked out well that way. And then just, gain referrals from there, buyers, sellers, things like that. But yeah, I think timing was a little weird, but timing in terms of my age and the time I got in was beneficial outside of
It
COVID.
was in divine order.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it was in divine order. It was supposed to happen that way at that time too, man.
Right.
I want this is what I feel like is an important question, more valuable question, right? Don't know what your current situation is, but let's say currently, right now in today's market in 2023, you are an inspiring first-time homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what you know now, the knowledge that you know, and the resources that are available, what approach would you take to owning your first home in today's market conditions?
Today's market conditions, I would say save as much money as possible. I know it's probably cliche and it's probably obvious, but just having more buying power than the next person goes a long way. Having money for down payment, closing costs, all things like that, and sometimes even just having extra money to overbid and have a appraisal guarantee goes a long way. So I would say saving is probably your best bet. Saving as much money as possible within your means, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just recently, I'm in the home, me and my girlfriend home buying process now. And, we're at the loan application process. And when you check the finances and what you can afford and put, you put it into this calculator of down payments and stuff like that. You like, okay, I want to get maybe 300,000 or something like that. And this and that. And then you look at what they suggest for a down payment, and you like, where am I about to get that money from?
30, 40, 50, 60 grand. And that's just
I can't believe you even threw that number my way. Yeah, we're not even talking about closing costs, inspections,
yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness.
Goes back to buyers being demanding and difficult because it's a big financial decision. So
man, put a lot of wear and tear on you mentally, so I get it. But connecting with a right agent like yourself makes the process so much easier. So we appreciate you, Bryce. Thank you again for pulling up a chair to the closing table and sharing your knowledge with us. We appreciate that. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
Yeah. Bryce Holcombe. I work for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services here in St. Clair Shores. Phone number 586-819-3008. All over social media, just under Bryce Holcombe. But that's pretty much it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again, Bryce. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, do us both a favor and hit the like button, please. And thank you. Make sure you also share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Bryce, before we leave, I like to leave our audience with a question to get their brains turning before they leave the chat. So this is for you, audience. If you could design your dream home without any budget constraints, what would it look like? Don't tell us now. Put it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.